Donald Trump's one big beautiful bill is in trouble in the Senate as many Republicans are grumbling about $3 trillion that is set to be added to the deficit, while being quiet about other parts of the bill that are set to ruin American lives even worse than adding money to the deficit that I will point out for you guys at the end of this video. But before we look at everything, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. It helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. So Elon Musk here, he just recently left his role as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency. And we have him very shortly after leaving his role absolutely lambasting this one big beautiful bill. So let's head on over here to Mediaite, where we have an article that says Elon Musk urged voters to fire all politicians who voted for Trump's budget. Musk pulled no punches on Tuesday in slamming the Republican Party for passing Trump's one big beautiful bill through the House, urging everyone who voted for it to be fired. In November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. Musk made the bombastic comment in reply to a user who wrote, "Okay, let me get this straight. The GOP are out here spending millions on luxury hotels in Ukraine, not voting on any Doge cuts, spending 60% of their time on vacation, not codifying executive orders. And this is the major reform the American people voted for." So definitely different factions of this argument are starting to come up. And as we get closer and closer and closer to this bill going to the Senate for a vote, I can only imagine that those that don't like every provision in it are going to become more and more loud, perhaps indicating that this thing is headed to get stripped down quite significantly. So let's go ahead and look here at what Mike Johnson had to say about what Elon Musk said about the one big beautiful bill. And here's one more quip Musk had to say about it. He said that the bill was a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Musk saying to the House Republicans. Now let's hear what Mike Johnson's response to that.
Yeah, let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill.
So what did Elon say about it? He said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Tell us how you really.
So Musk obviously not happy about this, willing to be a little more outspoken now that he has left the White House. What's got Musk's feathers all ruffled up? Who exactly knows? Some have speculated it's the EV federal stipend that is being revoked by the one big beautiful bill. But what we do have here is arguments that are attempting to be made by Republicans, where Republicans are just straight up just lying to people straight to their face about the one big beautiful bill and about cuts that are in the one big beautiful bill that will be affecting Americans across this country. They're just straight up lying to the American people's face, and it's absolutely disgusting given what is to be lost if this is to pass in millions and millions of people's health care. But now what we'll look at here is Caroline Leavitt basically just totally being a Trump yes man, a Trump stamping whatever Trump says, no matter what. And of course, the White House spokesperson, that is mainly their job, right? But this is just in a very, very over the top example of it here.
and the president believes they should have
And
them.
something that just
Go
crossed,
ahead.
Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it. Tamara.
Thank you.
So Levitt here saying Trump says the bill is big and it's beautiful, so the bill is big and beautiful. Don't mind what's in it. Just Trump says it's big and beautiful. That's what it is. It's like, again, they're trying to tell us, don't pay attention to your don't pay attention to what you see, don't pay attention to what you're hearing, pay attention to what we want you to see and what we want you to hear in this one big beautiful bill. The American people aren't buying it. And where you have Elon Musk upset for one reason or another about what's in this bill, you have the other side of it where the cuts to Medicaid in the one big beautiful bill are set to kick millions and millions of people off of their health care, in many cases causing people to die that otherwise wouldn't have died if they had access to health care. This is what the American people are starting to realize that the GOP is trying to do to them, and they are not having it. And a Senator Joni Ernst here had a very crass, on the nose response to her constituents who are very rightfully concerned about people who may die if they lose their health care if the one big beautiful bill is passed in its current form through the Senate. Let's go and look at what Joni Ernst had to say here to her upset constituents.
When we're talking about the corrections in this reconciliation bill, again, it's corrections of overpayments and people that have not been eligible for these programs by law as it is currently written. So when you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So for heaven's sakes, folks, okay.
Wow. So you heard her there say, well, the crowd got upset at her response, and people start yelling out, "People are going to die. People are going to die." And she goes, "People aren't." And then she goes, "You know what? We're all going to die. We're all going to die." That's the GOP response now to constituents upset about losing their health care. We're all going to die. No, we are the richest country in the world. If the richest country on planet Earth can't provide health care to its citizens, humanity has failed, okay, as a species. If the richest country on planet Earth is unable to provide such a basic necessity as health care, we are a failure. We're a failure. Healthcare should be something that is a right. People have a right to access, not a privilege for people who can afford it. And what's Joni Ernst's response? Well, we're all going to die anyways, so who cares about the state of healthcare? No, that is absolutely a despicable answer. Absolutely despicable. And her argument doesn't even hold up, because they're trying to tell us, lie to our face and tell us it's illegal immigrants that are getting kicked off of Medicare, but the numbers simply don't add up. So here's some information here from the cbpp.org, which is the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. They say that roughly 15 million people by 2034 would lose healthcare coverage and become uninsured because of the Medicaid cuts, the bill's failure to extend enhanced premium tax credits for the Affordable Care Act, marketplace coverage, and other harmful ACA marketplace changes. CBO estimates that 7.6 million people would become uninsured due to Medicaid policies passed by the Energy and Commerce Committee. 1.8 million people would become uninsured due to codification of the Trump administration marketplace rule provisions, which the ENC committee also passed. 2.1 million people would become uninsured because of marketplace policies passed by the Ways and Means Committee. So, and then on Medicaid, on the Medicaid end, according to the CBO, an earlier version of the bill would have cut Medicaid by at least $716 billion, the largest cut in the program's history. Between 9.7 and 14.4 million people in the expansion population would be at risk of losing Medicaid under a provision that takes coverage away from people who don't meet a harsh work requirement. Now, this work requirement thing is that's where most of the savings are coming from, right? $280 billion of savings is coming from requiring people to work a certain amount. But the thing is that 60% of people who are receiving Medicaid already work. They just don't make enough money to afford healthcare outside of going through the government. So all kinds of people who are already working are going to be kicked off of their Medicare. And also many people who are unable to jump through all of the hoops are going to be cut off. So this idea that, oh, it's just illegals who we're saving money by cutting off illegal immigrants from accessing healthcare, that's where the savings are come from, it's simply a lie. And they're having more and more of a hard time covering it up, leading to this wretched politician here, Jody Ernst, saying, you know, crazy stuff like, well, we're all going to die anyways. Don't worry about healthcare. Last thing I have for you guys here, some more information. And this is from the CBO, which, by the way, is run by a Republican, right? We've heard some pushback against, oh, well, the CBO, they're not the end all be all. They're ran by a Republican. Okay. So this is a Republican ran organization that is coming up with these numbers here that say that in the House budget bill in 2034, 1.4 million people would lose other coverage, specifically health insurance, through state-only funded programs under the current law. The 1.4 million people. So here's the information from the CBO, where it says, to support his Medicaid claim, the White House sent us a May 13th social media post from the Republican-led House Committee on Energy and Commerce. That post on X about strengthening Medicaid by eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse suggested that 1.4 million illegal immigrants would lose Medicaid coverage as a result of the bill, according to a preliminary CBO estimate on the coverage changes. The CBO estimated that overall, the Medicaid provisions in the Republican bill would reduce the number of people with Medicaid or children's health insurance program coverage by 10.3 million by 2034, though some would retain or acquire other insurance. A net 7.6 million people would become uninsured, but the agency did not say that 1.4 million people in the U.S. illegally would lose Medicaid benefits. The Senate Republicans' account on X wrongly claimed in a May 20th post that the bill protects Medicaid for eligible Americans by removing 1.4 million illegals. That was a day after Caroline Leavitt also inaccurately claimed that under the bill, the 1.4 million illegal aliens who are currently improperly receiving Medicaid benefits will be kicked off the program to preserve it for hardworking American citizens who need it. And after the House narrowly passed the bill on May 22nd with only Republican votes, Mike Johnson claimed that the Democrats were supporting Medicaid for illegal immigrants. CBO, which analyzed provisions in an early draft of the Energy and Commerce Committee's portion of the House budget bill, said that in 2034, 1.4 million people would lose other coverage, specifically health insurance, through state-funded state-only funded programs under the current law. The 1.4 million includes people without verified citizenship, nationality, or satisfactory immigration status. Those individuals are presumed to lose their state-provided health benefits because of the House bill includes language penalizing states that provide any form of financial assistance for health coverage or any form of comprehensive health benefits to immigrants living in the country illegally, regardless of the source of the funding. For those states, the bill proposes reducing from 90 to 80% the federal medical assistance percentage rate that the federal government is required to pay this to states that expanded Medicaid for eligible individuals under the Affordable Care Act. The CBO analysis assumes that at least some states, deterred by reduced federal payments for their Medicaid programs, would stop offering their state-funded healthcare programs to immigrants without lawful immigration status, leaving more than 1 million of them uninsured. But those individuals would not come from the Medicaid program. Medicaid is when a state is accepting federal Medicaid dollars in compliance with federal Medicaid coverage rules, Coolio, the Georgetown University professor, told us. So the bill's provisions aren't about Medicaid, he said. And of course, undocumented immigrants are also not eligible for comprehensive coverage in Medicaid. So there are not millions of undocumented people losing Medicaid coverage because of this bill, since they don't have comprehensive coverage under Medicaid to begin with, and the very limited emergency Medicaid coverage provided to immigrants is not changed under the bill. So this is a complete lie, a myth that, we're saving all this money from kicking illegal immigrants off of Medicaid. It's simply not true. There are people in all races, all creeds, all political affiliation who are on the lower income spectrum who stand to lose big time if this bill is passed. And the Republicans know this, and Mike Johnson and Trump know this. That's why they have to come up with all these excuses to try to sell to the American people this absolutely awful bill that is set to kick millions and millions of people off their health coverage. When we're a country that is the richest country in the whole world, it's an absolutely despicable thing to do. And I'm glad that Elon Musk and some other Republicans are calling out this bill for what it is, maybe for different reasons than I am here. But let's hope that some fiscal conservatism can win out, and that ultimately this thing gets watered down so that millions and millions of people don't lose their health coverage, and that, you know, we can at least keep people who currently have health coverage through the government, that they can continue to receive it, because health insurance is quite literally one of the most important things that anybody could have access to. So that's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, take care.